Hey YouTube, this is Steve from Average Joe's Fantasy Football, and we've got another start and sit video for you guys. This is now going to be for the running back position. Again, like always, our videos are based off of PPR and half PPR. Your standard leagues might make some changes here or there, but again, this is half PPR and PPR. So let's jump right into this. We've got your bye weeks, all right? Hopefully you guys, again, had some victories over this weekend. You do have 4 teams that are on a bye this week. You've got the Lions, Seahawks, Buccaneers, and the Washington football team. So those teams are on a bye. So as far as running backs go with byes, I wouldn't say super tough on most people. Swift might be a big one for a lot of you guys. Maybe a Gibson, who really hasn't been performing anyways, but there are a couple guys that are in there. Now, these are your obvious starts. These are guys that I believe, based off of their matchups, based off of how they perform, whether they're the RB1, maybe they're a great PPR back, something like that. These are the guys you should be starting this week, even if the matchup isn't great. Okay, these are guys I feel comfortable that they should be in your lineups. Don't make this difficult. Again, very simple. Now, as far as a good start goes, there are a couple good backs that are out there that I would like to kind of go over. So the first guy is Myles Gaskin. Myles Gaskin obviously can be up and down, and part of it is based off matchup, based off how the game script goes. There's a lot of factors that plays in his performance. This week is a little bit better performance based off of the Texans are a very porous defense. They're allowing 135 yards to the running back, which is 32nd in the NFL. They're also allowing 27.1 points, 25th in the NFL. So this is a very tough matchup. It's not something that I feel comfortable with them as a defensive team. This is why I think Myles Gaskin is going to be a really good start for you guys this week. Even if he's not a strong RB1, he's definitely a good low RB2, good flex position for you guys in case you guys have maybe 2 solid backs. Now, another good start, and this one kind of surprised a lot of people, is Boston Scott. Everyone went crazy after Kenneth Gainwell. And I'll admit, there were a couple people that asked, based off of who they had, I mentioned Gainwell is a good start, but I was never really crazy about him. Prior to, I would say, the week, obviously, Miles Sanders getting hurt, Gainwell was losing a lot of his timeshare. They were losing some of the confidence. I don't know what it was, because it wasn't like he was underperforming. There was just something that was going on. They always liked Boston Scott. Boston Scott was there before, and he performed really well. And he did an amazing job last week. Actually, that whole running back committee, besides Gainwell, did a really good job. Gainwell did get a double-digit touches towards the end of the game, but that was only because they were up by so much. That really showed that Boston Scott is the guy right now to fill in while Miles Sanders is on IR. They're going against the Chargers, who are allowing 132 yards, which is 31st in the NFL. They're also allowing 27.5 points, which is 27th in the NFL. So it's another good matchup for Boston Scott. Again, based off game script, it might change a little bit because if the Chargers go up big, then that might affect Boston Scott. But I think this might be a little bit closer than most people think. So I do like him this week. And the last guy I like is Chuba Hubbard. Now, this may change depending on if Christian McCaffrey does come back. He is designated to come back this week. Does not necessarily mean he is going to play this week. So that's something you have to keep an eye on. Now, obviously, if Christian McCaffrey does come back and he practices all week, he's a shoo-in no matter what. If not, then I still believe Chuba Hubbard is going to be a good one based off the fact that the Patriots are struggling against the rush defense. They're allowing 99 yards, which is 23rd in the NFL. They're also allowing 24.4 points, which is 18th in the NFL. So I like Chuba Hubbard. And of course, if McCaffrey is back, absolutely start him. Now, as far as some good sits go, James Robinson's one I don't feel comfortable. And this also could be Carlos Hyde, depending on what happens with James Robinson if he doesn't play. He was injured over in the first quarter of last week's game. But whether it's James Robinson or Carlos Hyde, they're going against the Bills. The Bills are allowing 64 yards to the running back, which is 3rd in the NFL. They're also only allowing 16.6 points, which is 1st in the NFL. This whole just matchup in general, nobody in the Jaguars do I feel comfortable with. So I don't like James Robinson or Carlos Hyde if he is playing. Another guy I have as a good sit is going to be Melvin Gordon. Look, you saw what the Cowboys did against Dalvin Cook. He did not have a great performance like many people were hoping. Cowboys actually have a really good defense against the run. They're 4th against the run and only allowing 68 yards to the running back. They're also allowing 21.4 points, which is 8th in the NFL. So as far as the running backs go, and he's a committee back, Melvin Gordon's not somebody I feel comfortable with. He's about 50-50 with Javonte Williams. So again, and if they do lose some of the game, depending on how the game goes, Melvin Gordon might get pushed out and Javonte Williams becomes the PPR back at that point. So don't feel comfortable with him. The last guy I feel is a good sit is going to be Khalil Herbert. Going against the Steelers this week, Steelers are allowing 94 yards, which is 19th in the NFL. So they might give up some yards, but they're only allowing 19.3 points, which is 5th in the NFL. So they do a really good job at stopping the running back from either scoring or allowing a lot of catches. Hey, you get 90 yards, that's 9 points. You don't get anything else. That's only 9 points. It's not a great back to start this week. I know Herbert has done really well while he's filled in since Montgomery's been hurt. But this is not a matchup I really feel comfortable with. It's a Monday night game, so we'll see. Sometimes some people show up really well on Monday night games when they're prime time, but I just don't trust him this week. Now, as far as a good sleeper goes, I have Zach Moss. Zach Moss is one of those players that, again, he's getting a lot of touches. He's getting the goal line touches. He's getting the fourth quarter touches. And with the Bills being a team that has been able to outscore their opponents, especially this week going against the Jaguars, this is a good week for Zach Moss. The Jaguars are allowing 90 yards to the running back, which is 17th in the NFL. They're also allowing 23.8 points, which is 15th in the NFL. So for anybody who wants to start a good flex option, Zach Moss is one of those. He's been available still in most leagues. Not as many as you would hope, obviously, but I've still seen Zach Moss out there. So if he is available, you might want to pick him up and put him in the flex spot. All right. So those are my start and sits for the running back position for you guys this week. Also want to mention that, again, if you guys haven't checked it out, make sure you check out our quarterback start and sits, and then we'll be dropping our wide receiver and tight end start and sits as well. Make sure you check those out so you guys are ready for the updates. I also do want to get a quick update if you guys aren't following us on our socials. Aaron Rodgers, I know this is a side note, but Aaron Rodgers did test positive for COVID, so just be aware of that. He will not be playing this Sunday, which might affect an Aaron Jones or a Devontae Adams. So just keep in mind with that. Jordan Love will get the start. Should be interesting how that plays out. All right. So thank you guys so much for watching this. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. Also, if you have questions, hit us up in the comments down below of who you should start or sit, or trade questions. Obviously, trade deadlines are coming up. Also, hit us up on our socials. We're on Twitter, Instagram. Our links are down below in the description, and we'll check you guys next time.